Hello my lovelies and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Angelique and we are already in February. Like, that flew by, so it is time to do our February TBR jar picks. Wait, I always mess this up. God. It is time to do our TBR jar picks, our February reads. The first one of these I ever did was last month in January, and I got more views than usual, so thank you so much for watching. I picked out 5 books, and I'm gonna do the same thing for this month. I got through 3 of them, so if you want to check out my January reading wrap up and see which 3 books I got through, click above. I'm gonna link it in the cards. But I think I did pretty good for having picked out 5 books. I still had to read through my manuscript for the book that I'm writing, and then I read through a friend's book that she's writing, and then I read 3 books out of my 5. So I think that was pretty good, and I like that I had the options. So I'm gonna do the same thing this month. We're gonna let my TBR jar pick out 5 more books for us, and I'm super excited because even though I just made this jar last month, I already completely forgot what is in here, like what the prompts are. So I have no idea what it's gonna say. Like, I don't know how I forgot, but I did. So that's all of the books back there that I could choose from. And I'm also not limiting myself to just this. Of course, I want to prioritize my physical TBR, but I also have Kindle Unlimited. So if there's something that fits the prompt that I'm super excited about on there or on Libby, I'm also going to be using that. I recently came back from a trip to California to visit my husband's side of the family, and I got a couple of amazing classics from his grandmother. So those have been added to my TBR because I do want to get more into classics, and then a couple of poetry books as well. And then the 2 books that I did not get to from last month's TBR jar pick was Beartown by Frederick Bachman, as well as The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. So those have gone back onto this cart. There's also, I'm super excited about the Toni Morrison books that I got from his Grammy. Oh my God, I've been wanting to get into Toni Morrison. So now I have a couple of her physical books, super excited for that. So with all of that said, let's get this show on the road. Shuffler. These are sticky notes, so I hate when some of them get stuck at the bottom like that. I want equal opportunity. Okay, we have our first prompt. Oh my God, I got this last month. A book that doesn't match the season. That's probably my least favorite prompt because it's like, I want to be in the season I'm in. Okay, so it's like winter, late winter. What doesn't match the season? For me, every time I think of winter or fall, I think fantasy and magical realism. So that's gonna put me more than into the romance side of things. I'm so over that prompt. Like, why would I get it 2 months in a row? Okay, so I have 4 books for that prompt. We have Beach Read by Emily Henry, Summer in the City by Alex Astor, Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and Great Big Beautiful Life, another Emily Henry. So Beach Read for obvious reasons. This is giving summer through and through. Augustus Everett is an acclaimed author of literary fiction. January Andrews writes best-selling romance. When she pens The Happily Ever After, he kills off his entire cast. They're polar opposites. In fact, the only thing they have in common is that for the next 3 months, they're living in a neighboring beach houses, broke and bogged down with writer's block. Then one hazy evening, one thing leads to another, and they strike a deal designed to force them out of their creative ruts. Spend the summer writing something happy, and January will pen the next great American novel. Okay, that sounds interesting. So I read my first ever Emily Henry last month. I read Happy Place last month, and I really enjoyed it. I did have a couple of qualms about it, which if you want to see more, you can go to my January wrap up to hear my complete thoughts on that, but I did really like it, and I really like Emily Henry's writing. She's so engaging. She's so funny. She is so witty. I was cackling. I was like really enjoying her humor. So that's a pretty good option. Summer in the City by Alex Astor. I had this as an option for last month, and my friend, when she watched the video, she texted me and she was like, shoot, I wanted you to pick that one. So just because of her texting me that, now I'm feeling like I should read this. Apparently it's very spicy, which I didn't know was gonna be like full of spice. Tomorrow's the last day of summer, I say. He joins me at the edge. He's tense, but his hands soft against my spine. My voice is barely a whisper as I turn to face him. It's a shame that summers always end. Maybe this one can be endless, Parker says. Nothing in life is endless. Love is, Elle, he says. I laugh. And what do you know about love? Now, he says, everything. This warmth in my chest, filling every missing piece I didn't know I had, is what summer feels like. Pure, steamy, and the perfect summer read is what Allie Hazelwood blurbed on the cover. This perfectly matches the prompt, I think. Malibu Rising, what is this about? So summer party and anticipation, surfer and supermodels. It's very vague on what it's about. I've heard good things about Taylor Jenkins Reid. Again, I've never read one of her books, so this would be my first. And then I have no idea what Great Big Beautiful Life is about. I do know it's of course another Emily Henry, and I have only seen really good reviews on this book. This doesn't mention anything about the season or anything like that. It's not giving me summer vibes, so I think this one fits the prompt the least. So this one's out. Honestly, out of these three, I think I'm most excited to try Summer in the City. Also because I'm super curious about how Alex Astor's writing is gonna be in a contemporary romance, since I've only ever read her fantasy. So I think this is our first pick for this month's TBR. So let's keep on going and see what we get for our second pick out of 5. So here is our next prompt. Oh my gosh! This one says a seasonal pick. It's like it heard me complaining. Okay, so now we get to pick something that fits the vibe of the season. Oh, there's so many. I don't really have any technically seasonal picks, as in like the winter season is like a big theme in the book or anything. But when I think of winter, I think gothic, I think fantasy, I think magical realism. So that's kind of what I'm more drawn to if I'm mood reading this time of year. First, I have Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. I read over the synopsis last month, and this one is giving very gothic, almost slightly horror. A woman and her brother, I think, who she wants to get out of this town, and then there's a house that this famous person left behind, and it's giving haunted vibes or something like that. So this is an option. Next, we have The Book of Longings by Sue Monk Kidd. This is a little bit of a stretch, what I'm gonna say, but I feel like just coming out of Christmas, a book that is centered around if Jesus had a wife, that's seasonal. Like, if we're gonna be more literal about seasonal, this is the closest thing I have that fits kind of this time of year in my head. Just let me have it. Don't say anything about that. I am Anna. I was the wife of Jesus ben Joseph of Nazareth. All my life, longings lived inside me, rising up like nocturnes to wail and sing through the night. That my husband bent his heart to mine on our thin straw mat and listened was the kindness I most loved in him. What he heard was my life begging to be born. That's stunning. Like, already I'm getting a sense of the prose, and that's beautiful. Wait. Imagine a story of a young woman named Anna, raised in a wealthy family with ties to the ruler of Galilee. She's rebellious and ambitious, with a brilliant mind and a daring spirit. She engages in furtive scholarly pursuits and writes narratives about neglected and silenced women. Are you kidding? Anna is expected to marry an older widower, a prospect that horrifies her. An encounter with 18-year-old Jesus changes everything. Their marriage evolves with love and conflict, humor and pathos in Nazareth, where Anna makes a home with Jesus, his brothers, and their mother Mary. Anna's pent-up longings intensify amid the turbulent resistance to Rome's occupation of Israel, partially led by her brother Judas. Hold the phone. This is drama. This is drama! Anna's brother is Judas! Hell yeah. Wait, I just sold myself. Okay, wait. This is so exciting. I'm so excited. Hold on, wait, okay. We're gonna keep, hold on, wait. Just give me a second. We're gonna keep going, because we have some other good options too. So, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I've also heard that this is a phenomenal read by V.E. Schwab. This is a girl who like can't die or something, right? And it's like a historical fiction in France, set in the 1700s, ready to give up her soul. Ooh. A hidden bookstore and someone who can remember her name and suddenly everything changes. I've heard only incredible things about this book. So that's like another really good option. And then y'all, at some point I gotta do it. If I'm saying I'm gonna do it, at some point I gotta do it. Like, it's fantasy, classic fantasy. So I feel like at some point I need to start it. Oh, these chapters are pretty. That's pretty. Look at that. But I mean, you guys saw my reaction. The Book of Longings. I think it has to be The Book of Longings. This is like most, to me, literal with the prompt and it being winter. We just had Christmas. It's about Jesus, but this is like juicy. Book number 2. It's settled. I can't believe her brother is Judas. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. She knew what she was doing with that one. All right, moving on to our third pick. Let's get something exciting, TBR jar. Let's get something different, something we haven't gotten yet. Oh, I got this one last month. I'm picking the same prompts. I got this one last month. A color in the title. You guys saw me lose my mind over this last month and you saw what I was most excited about reading. So last month when I picked that, I ended up reading Red Queen, which to hear more about that, like I said, go to that video, my January wrap up. All right, but let's see what we have. This one for sure. This one. So for a color in the title, here's our 3 choices. We have House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune, Red Rising by Pierce Brown, and The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. These are all very highly anticipated reads for me. Obviously, they're on my TBR, but you guys saw me lose my mind last month trying to read this book. Didn't work out for me, but I really love this like magical realism where this guy is in charge of magical youth and he has to go to this like island to find these dangerous children or something like that. And I just think it's gonna be a really pleasant read. I look at that cover, like it draws me in. So that's a really good option. Next, we have Red Rising, which is such a famous series right now. And my husband started reading this and loved it. I've heard everyone says like you have to get past the first book because it gets better, which I intend to do. I've just been so excited to get to this one. So it seems like the perfect opportunity to do that. But this is a huge series. And again, I need to remember my priorities is writing this month. So I don't want to pick things that are too daunting for me, which leads me to this honker. I said it last month, I'm gonna say it again. It's not the month. Whenever I read this, this has to be the only book I read that month because it's a Bible. But I do want to read it so badly. Unless I read it and I listen to the audiobook constantly, then I should be able to make it through. But I know this book is so good. So I think of these 3, the one that's the most realistic is going to be House in the Cerulean Sea, which I found out, you guys corrected me last month, is actually a duology. I thought it was a standalone, but it's not. I think I'm gonna start this one. It's the one that makes me the least intimidated to start right now. Boom. Okay, moving on. I don't know what it is with me with picking the same ones. Look at, there's so many. I'm just gonna go to the middle, choosing you. What's going on? This seems set up, like this seems like I'm doing this on purpose. Matches your outfit. I got that last month. So far, 3 of my 4 prompts are exactly what I got last month. And I like shook it and I aimed for one that was like smack dab in the middle and I looked at it and said, you're the one. And I still chose the same one. Okay, matches my outfit. Your girl's in like a pinky mauve shirt and like my leggings don't match at all. My leggings are like a teal, like a greeny, I don't know. Oh, wait. Malibu Rising, y'all. This is the only one that I can see that has both colors that I'm wearing. So the text matches my shirt and then the blue cover sort of like, especially the spine, goes more with my pants. One more is Ariadne. It's a little more orange than my shirt. And then this is like a little more blue than my pants. I don't know. I feel like Ariadne is the most true to the tones that we have going on. Yeah, like this one is just too much. It's too vibrant. Sister, lover, traitor, hero. Ariadne, princess of Crete, grows up listening to her nursemaid's stories of gods and heroes. When Theseus, prince of Athens, arrives to vanquish the Minotaur, her brother, Ariadne sees in his green eyes not a threat but an escape. Defying the gods, betraying her family and country, and risking everything for love, Ariadne helps Theseus kill the beast. But will Ariadne's decision ensure her happy ending? And what of Phaedra, the beloved younger sister she leaves behind? Hypnotic, propulsive, and utterly transporting, Jennifer Saint's Ariadne forges a new epic, one that puts the forgotten women of Greek mythology back at the heart of the story as they strive for a better world. I think I have to go with this one. Like this one has the colors too, but if I was like, I'm going out to read in the library or a cafe and I want my book to go with my outfit, I feel like I would pick this over this. Okay, you guys, I'm not messing around. Y'all are gonna watch this, right? I want one that I haven't gotten. This one came with 3. What do I do? Aww. This one says the prettiest cover on the TBR. Okay, that's definitely a new one. Obviously, this is completely subjective. I think all covers are beautiful in their own way. I'm just gonna go with what draws to my eye the most, and this is not me calling any of the covers ugly. I just have favorites. So I think these are the two that are prettiest to me right now. The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young. I have always been drawn to this cover. In fact, it is the only reason I bought it. I just think that's gorgeous. It's so dynamic and I can't really tell what is going on, but I like it. And then the next one is Clytemnestra, and this one is by Costanza Casati, and I think that this cover is also really, really pretty. So I know that this one is set in North Carolina, which is where I live, and it's set on a flower farm, which I love. I think it has a little bit of a mystery vibe to it, which I'm iffy on mystery sometimes, but everything else about it draws me in. I don't know anything about this one. Let's see. Monarch, Mother, Murderer, Magnificent. You were born to a king, but you marry a tyrant. You stand by helplessly as he sacrifices your child to placate the gods. You watch him wage war on a foreign shore, and you comfort yourself with violent thoughts of your own. Because this was not the first offense against you, this was not the life you ever deserved. And this will not be your undoing. Slowly, you plot. When your husband returns in triumph, you become a woman with a choice, acceptance or vengeance. Infamy follows both. Ooh. So you bide your time and force the gods' hands in the game of retribution, for you understand something long ago that others never did. If power isn't given to you, you have to take it for yourself. A blazing novel set in the world of an ancient Greece and told through the eyes of its most notorious heroine. This is a thrilling tale of power and prophecies, of hatred, of love, and of an unforgettable queen who fiercely dealt out death to those who wronged her. It's gotta be that. The difference between that and A Flower Farm, I'm picking that. So here's our fifth and final book for the month of February. Shake this up good for next month. All right, so let's do a little bit of a recap on the books that we chose and our prompts for our first book. Summer in the City by Alex Astor. This one was for a book that doesn't match the season, and I've been really wanting to get to this, so I'm excited about that. This is a romance. Next, for our book that matches the season, we have The Book of Longings by Sue Monk Kidd, which got me so excited reading that synopsis. I'm really excited for this one. Next, we had a book with a color in the name, so that's House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. This is one I've also been dying to get to, and this one's like more magical realism YA. We have Ariadne. This one I feel like matched my outfit the closest. The vibes were more there. And then our last book was the prettiest cover on my TBR, and I chose Clytemnestra by Costanza Casati, and I had never read the synopsis for this one, so that like sold it for me. So that's it for my February TBR. I feel like this is a very diverse TBR. I'm excited to get to what I can. Hopefully I read at least 3 of these. That's kind of my plan for every month, but we'll see how it goes. And I'm excited to share my end of the month February wrap up with you guys as well. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment below what is in your February TBR. I want to know what you guys are reading as well. If you haven't yet, please make sure to subscribe and join the family. Give me a like, hit the bell. I really appreciate all of your support, and I will see you guys in the next video.